Good evening and welcome to KiniNews. The chain of events surrounding the Sheraton Move of 2020 is thrown into confusion once again as former Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad admitted complicity in Bersatu's efforts to get some support from other parties even before the move took place.
Former Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad has admitted that he allowed Bersatu to court support from Umno and PAS prior to the Sheraton Move. However, he claimed that he was unaware that it was meant to pave the way for the party to leave Pakatan Harapan. Mahathir revealed this in his autobiography Capturing Hope. In the book, he wrote that in early 2020, Larut MP Hamzah Zainuddin began a campaign to get Umno and PAS leaders and MPs to sign statutory declarations supporting him as Prime Minister. He said, at the time, he did not object as he thought this would strengthen his position and enable Bersatu to become a stronger member of Pakatan Harapan. He added that much later, he realized that what was actually taking place was a stealth campaign to separate him from the rest of the Harapan government. According to Mahathir, Hamzah later tried to convince him to leave Harapan, but he refused to work with UMNO. Mahathir also claimed that Bersatu President Muhyiddin Yassin had tried to get him to get Bersatu to join forces with UMNO and PAS to form a Malay Muslim government, citing concerns over DAP's influence. However, Mahathir said that the allegations that DAP controlled the Harapan government and that Malay interests were being undermined were false narratives perpetuated by his nemesis, Najib Abdul Razak. According to Mahathir, DAP was supportive of him and deferred to him as Prime Minister.
Digital Nasional Berhad, which is handling the 5G network rollout, had received some criticism recently, with opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim warning that it could end up like 1MDB as it is shrouded in secrecy. Now, the Finance Ministry has stressed that they're different.
DNB, which is in charge of the 5G network rollout in Malaysia, is not the same as 1MDB. This was the response from Deputy Finance Minister 2, Yamani Hafiz Musa, to opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim, who had warned that DNB could end up like 1MDB, as the approval of the 5G network rollout was shrouded in secrecy.
Kita ingin buat ketegasan sini bahawa DNB dan 1MDB ini adalah perkara yang berbeza. Pertamanya dari segi proses tender. Proses tender DNB ini sebenarnya telah distruktur oleh firma perkhidmatan profesional bebas, Ernst & Young Consulting, Sdn Bhd, mengikut piawaian global.
1MDB dulu Goldman Sachs, ingat? Profesional juga. You can't use that argument.
Tapi Goldman Sachs itu dia raise bond kan. Dia bukan open tender. This is on open tender. There's a big difference kan.
Earlier, Yamani said DNB had estimated that a further 1.5 billion ringgit is required for additional infrastructure on top of the 11 billion ringgit contract awarded to Ericsson. This would put the estimated cost of the 5G rollout to around 12.5 billion ringgit. In response to this, Anwar had said that he did not believe that the cost would be 12 billion ringgit and that the estimate was just a low number set for the sake of not being too shocking. He questioned the actual cost of the 5G network rollout, as there have been different estimates ranging from 15 billion ringgit to 20 billion ringgit. He also called for the government to reveal who was involved with the contract, as well as those who received commissions from it.
Has Twitter ever asked you to read an article first before retweeting it? Well, since Facebook does not have this feature, PAC chairperson Wong Kah-Woh wants to make sure that former Prime Minister Najib Razak read the report that the latter criticized yesterday. The Public Accounts Committee has fired back at former Premier Najib Abdul Razak over the latter's post on Facebook, alleging that the PAC was pushing DAP propaganda that the opposition party has been tooting since before the 14th general elections. PAC chairperson Wong Kah-Woh is now accusing Najib of deflecting from the committee's findings that Bank Negara funds were used to bail out the stricken One Malaysia Development Berhad. Wong then went on to retort that out of the PAC's 14 members, only 2 were from the DAP and that, quote, no matter what clothes we wear and which symbol we represent, we are responsible to the people with a mandate from the Dewan Rakyat. He then posted the Valuation and Property Services Department's contact number so that Najib could call them to verify the PAC's findings, as well as a link to the PAC report document so that Najib could, quote, read the PAC report end to end. The PAC had recently confirmed suspicions that a plot of land Bank Negara Malaysia purchased from the federal government for 2.07 billion ringgit in 2017 was intended to pay off 1MDB's debts. The PAC's 14 members comprise 3 from UMNO, 3 from Bersatu, 2 from DAP, 2 from PAS, and 1 member each from GPS, PKR, Amanah, and Warisan respectively. Security has been tightened at the Perak State Assembly in the wake of a highly controversial present that made its way into the House yesterday, which has now caused an assembly person to be reprimanded. I bet it's something really, really dangerous.
Hulu Kinta Assembly Person Muhammad Arafat Varisai Muhammad has been reprimanded for bringing a whole raw chicken to the Perak State Assembly sitting yesterday. Speaker Muhammad Zahir Abdul Khalid said that what happened during yesterday's debate session should not be repeated. He also asked security personnel to carry out a more rigorous inspection on items, including bags and packages brought into the State Assembly Hall. He joked that hopefully no one would want to bring goats or cows to today's sitting, before continuing the sitting which enters its fourth day today. Yesterday, Arafat shocked the Assembly Hall when he brought the unusual exhibit into the Perak State Assembly during debates regarding the price of basic necessities. Holding up the raw chicken, he told fellow assembly persons that people are unhappy with the rising prices of goods. He said he did not see any efforts made by the Plantations Agriculture and Food Industry Committee chairperson, including holding meetings with retailers and entrepreneurs to see the real problem. The action drew cheers from other assembly persons, while the voice of another could be heard interjecting, telling him to put down the chicken, go home, and cook rundown.
After this, it looks like Lim Kit Siang wants to see some more report cards from the government. Who's the DAP strongman going after this time? Find out after a word from our sponsor.
Shellfish, red meat, and beer. If you love indulging in these foods, you may end up with high uric acid level in your blood. These foods consist high level of purine, a substance that will eventually break down into uric acid and be excreted through our urine. It is recommended that the amount of dietary purines should be kept between 600 to 1000 milligrams per day. Having too much uric acid in your blood can cause attacks of gout. It can also cause kidney stones and blockage in the kidney. The crystallization of the excessive uric acid in your blood can be eased by reducing purine-rich food to only 100 to 150 milligrams daily, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and consuming urinary alkalinizer like Ural. It consists of sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, and sodium citrate that increases the urinary pH and solubility of uric acid to prevent crystallization. Best of all, it's lemon-flavored and sugar-free. Ural, effective urinary alkalinizer. Neutralize your uric acid problem now.
Welcome back. Earlier this week, it was revealed that Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob's government spent 136,000 ringgit a month on special advisors. If you are wondering how they were performing, then you are not alone. Lim Kit Siang wants the government to produce report cards on the special envoys.
DAP veteran Lim Kit Siang has called for a 100-day assessment of their overall performance to be made on the special envoys in Prime Minister Ismail Sabri's government. This came following the revelation by Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Abdul Latif Ahmad, earlier this week, that the government has hired a total of 5 special advisors, costing 136,000 ringgit a month. At present, Ismail Sabri has 4 special envoys and 1 advisor. The special envoys are Hadi Awang for the Middle East, Special Envoy to China, Tiong King Sing, Special Envoy to East Asia, Richard Ryat, and Special Envoy to South Asia, S. Vigneswaran. Lim added that he had previously asked whether Hadi had been banned from Saudi Arabia, as he had never visited the country since his appointment, but did not get an answer. He also questioned what was the use of having an ambassador or special envoy of a region when they cannot visit the country or region they are supposed to be responsible for. He said, "We cannot have a secretive government where the Prime Minister has an army of special advisors who are paid by public funds, and yet Parliament and the people know nothing about it," and asked if Ismail Sabri is prepared to seek approval from Parliament to authorize him to appoint special advisors and envoys.
Finance Minister Tengku Zafrul had to say that his heart is taken and that he has no interest in looking for a number 2. Why do you have to make a statement like that? Well, he just wanted Malaysians to be sure. Really, really sure.
Finance Minister Tengku Zafrul Abdulaziz has told the public to reject any unsolicited advances from an individual claiming to hold his position. He said this in response to recent news reports of a 59-year-old kindergarten teacher who lost 4,200 ringgit to false promises by an individual claiming to be the finance minister. Zafrul said, if there is anyone else who pretended to be the finance minister promising love, please reject them outright. He added that his heart is taken and he had no interest to look for number 2, adding that this message is also dedicated to his wife. He also urged the public to be careful of various scams and verify with the authorities if there are any suspicious activities. According to Malay Daily Cosmo, police has revealed that the suspect in the scam had used the name Tunku Zafrul on Facebook and introduced himself as the finance minister. The suspect also contacted the victim via WhatsApp.
Former Penang Chief Minister Lim Guan Eng has been discharged from the National Heart Institute, which is just in time for him to be able to attend his graft trial tomorrow.
Former Penang Chief Minister Lim Guan Eng has been discharged from the National Heart Institute, or IJN, and will be able to attend his corruption trial linked to the Penang Undersea Tunnel project tomorrow. This was revealed by his lawyers today. Yesterday, it was reported that Lim could not appear in court, as he was warded at IJN since Sunday after a medical procedure. Lim was given a medical certificate to accuse his attendance from proceedings yesterday and today. However, the Sessions Court in Kuala Lumpur proceeded with the trial despite his absence. This was after Lim's counsel applied for proceedings to continue without the accused by applying Section 264 of the Criminal Procedure Code. The ongoing trial before the lower court is concerning 4 graft charges against Lim, who is also the Air Putih assembly person.
That's a wrap for KiniNews this evening. For more stories, go to KiniTV.com. Don't forget to follow us on our social media on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook to get the latest headlines as well. If you would like to support the independent media, please do consider a subscription to MalaysiaKini.com. When heading out, don't forget your mask, and when you can, do try to stay home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia.
Everyone wants to see these scenes bigger. That's why we've got bigger TVs for everyone to enjoy them bigger. Watch colors come to life on a large screen. LG NanoCell.